The alpaca, a symbol of peace, warmth, and nature's beauty. In the sweeping highlands of South America, where the Andes Mountains pierce the clouds and ancient civilizations once flourished, there exists a creature whose gentle nature and remarkable qualities have captivated humanity for thousands of years. The alpaca, with its luminous eyes, soft fleece, and calm demeanor, stands as more than just a domesticated animal. It represents a living connection between people and the natural world, embodying peace, warmth, and the enduring beauty of nature itself. Origins and history, an ancient partnership. The story of the alpaca begins approximately 6,000 years ago in the high-altitude regions of Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and Ecuador. These camelids were domesticated by pre-Incan civilizations from their wild ancestor, the vicuña, through careful and deliberate breeding practices that prioritized fiber quality above all else. Unlike their close relatives the llamas, which were bred primarily as pack animals, alpacas were specifically cultivated for their extraordinarily soft and luxurious fleece. The ancient peoples of the Andes recognized something special in these gentle creatures. In Incan society, alpacas held sacred status, and their fiber was reserved for royalty and religious ceremonies. The finest alpaca textiles were considered gifts worthy of gods, and the animals themselves were treated with reverence and care. This deep cultural connection persists today in Andean communities, where alpacas remain integral to both economic survival and cultural identity. The alpaca's journey nearly ended in tragedy during the Spanish conquest of South America. The invaders failed to recognize the value of these animals, focusing instead on sheep and other European livestock. Alpaca populations plummeted, surviving only in remote mountain regions where indigenous communities continued their traditional herding practices. It wasn't until the late 20th century that the world rediscovered the alpaca, leading to their spread across continents and a renaissance in appreciation for their unique qualities. Physical characteristics, beauty and adaptation. Standing between 3 and 4 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing 100 to 200 pounds, alpacas possess a physical form perfectly adapted to their harsh mountain environment. Their compact, sturdy bodies are covered in dense fleece that provides insulation against extreme temperature fluctuations, from freezing nights to intense daytime sun exposure at elevations often exceeding 12,000 feet above sea level. Perhaps the most striking feature of any alpaca is its face. Large, expressive eyes framed by long lashes give these animals an appearance of perpetual curiosity and gentleness. Their small, pointed ears swivel independently, constantly monitoring their surroundings for potential threats. The overall effect is one of alert tranquility, a creature simultaneously aware and at peace with its environment. Alpacas come in 2 distinct breed types, each with unique characteristics. The Huacaya, comprising about 90% of the world's alpaca population, produces dense, crimped fleece that grows perpendicular to the body, creating a fluffy, teddy bear-like appearance. The Suri, rarer and often more highly valued, grows long, silky locks that hang in lustrous pencil-like strands, draping elegantly along the animal's body. Both varieties showcase the remarkable diversity that careful breeding has produced over millennia. The color palette of alpaca fleece is one of nature's most impressive displays of variety. With 22 officially recognized natural colors ranging from pure white through fawns, browns, grays, and true black, alpacas offer more natural color variation than any other fiber-producing animal. This spectrum eliminates the need for chemical dyeing in many applications, allowing the natural beauty of the fiber to shine through in finished textiles. Behavior and temperament, gentle souls of the mountains. The alpaca's temperament is perhaps its most endearing quality. These are fundamentally peaceful creatures, evolved to live in cooperative herds where aggression is rare and social bonds are strong. Unlike many domesticated animals, alpacas display minimal defensive behavior toward humans, instead choosing flight over fight when frightened. Their gentle nature makes them ideal for small farms, therapeutic settings, and educational programs. Social structure within alpaca herds reveals sophisticated communication and organization. A dominant male typically oversees a group of females and their young, but this hierarchy is maintained through subtle body language rather than violent confrontation. Alpacas communicate through a complex system of sounds including humming, which serves various purposes from maternal bonding to expressing curiosity or mild concern. The sound of a humming alpaca herd creates a soothing, melodic atmosphere that many farmers describe as meditative. When threatened or establishing boundaries, alpacas may spit, a behavior often exaggerated in popular culture but actually quite rare toward humans. Spitting primarily occurs during feeding time disputes or mating competition between herd members. The act serves as a social correction mechanism, maintaining order without physical violence. This preference for nonviolent conflict resolution reinforces the alpaca's symbolism as a creature of peace. Alpacas demonstrate remarkable intelligence and memory. They learn routines quickly, remember human handlers for years, and can be trained to walk on halters, load into vehicles, and even perform simple tricks. Their intelligence combines with natural curiosity to create animals that actively engage with their environment and the people who care for them, forming genuine bonds that transcend the typical livestock relationship. The gift of fiber, nature's perfect textile. If alpacas symbolize peace and beauty, their fleece represents warmth in its purest form. Alpaca fiber possesses qualities that make it among the most prized natural textiles in the world, combining functionality with luxury in ways that few materials can match. The structure of alpaca fiber explains its exceptional properties. Unlike sheep's wool, alpaca fiber is hollow, creating microscopic air pockets that provide extraordinary insulation without excessive weight. This makes alpaca garments incredibly warm while remaining surprisingly light and comfortable to wear. The fiber is also hypoallergenic, containing no lanolin, which makes it suitable for people with wool sensitivities and eliminates the need for harsh chemical processing. Alpaca fiber is categorized by fineness, measured in microns. The finest grade, known as royal alpaca or baby alpaca, taken from the first shearing of young animals, measures less than 20 microns in diameter, softer than the finest cashmere. This incredible softness comes without compromise to durability. Alpaca fiber is stronger than wool and highly resistant to pilling, ensuring that garments maintain their beauty through years of wear. The thermal properties of alpaca fleece are legendary among outdoor enthusiasts and cold weather professionals. The fiber regulates temperature effectively, keeping wearers warm in freezing conditions while wicking moisture away from the skin. This breathability prevents the clammy feeling associated with synthetic insulation and some other natural fibers, making alpaca ideal for active use in harsh climates. Environmental considerations add another dimension to alpaca fiber's appeal. Producing alpaca textiles requires significantly less water and energy than cotton or synthetic alternatives. The natural color variety reduces or eliminates dyeing requirements, and alpacas themselves have minimal environmental impact compared to other livestock, making their fiber one of the most sustainable textile options available. Environmental harmony, gentle footprints on the earth. The alpaca's symbolic connection to nature extends beyond metaphor into tangible environmental benefits. These animals exemplify sustainable agriculture, offering valuable products while maintaining ecological balance in ways that modern industrial farming rarely achieves. Alpacas possess soft, padded feet rather than hard hooves, which means they cause minimal damage to pasture land. Where cattle and sheep can compact soil and destroy vegetation through overgrazing, alpacas move lightly across the landscape, their weight distributed evenly through their cushioned feet. This gentle treading preserves root systems and prevents erosion, particularly important in fragile mountain ecosystems where soil loss can be devastating. The grazing habits of alpacas further demonstrate their environmental compatibility. They clip vegetation cleanly rather than tearing it up by the roots, and they eat less than many other livestock species relative to their size. An alpaca typically consumes about 2% of its body weight daily in dry matter, compared to roughly 4% for sheep or cattle. This efficient digestion means alpacas can thrive on land that might not support other livestock, and they require less pasture acreage per animal. Alpaca manure represents another environmental advantage. Often called alpaca beans due to their small, pellet-like form, these droppings are rich in nutrients but low in organic matter, making them an excellent garden fertilizer that can be used fresh without burning plants. Alpacas typically designate communal dung piles in their pastures, which simplifies collection and helps prevent parasite transmission while allowing for strategic nutrient redistribution across fields. Water usage presents yet another area where alpacas demonstrate environmental efficiency. These animals evolved in regions where water can be scarce, and they've retained the ability to thrive with minimal water intake compared to other livestock. Combined with their efficient digestion and minimal methane production, alpacas present a compelling alternative for sustainable agricultural systems seeking to reduce environmental impact. Cultural significance: more than an animal. Throughout South American history, and increasingly around the world, alpacas hold significance that transcends their practical value. They represent cultural heritage, economic empowerment, and a philosophical approach to human-animal relationships that emphasizes partnership over domination. In Andean communities, alpaca herding remains a way of life that connects contemporary people to their ancestral traditions. The knowledge required to successfully breed, raise, and shear alpacas passes through generations, carrying with it language, stories, and cultural practices that might otherwise be lost. For indigenous peoples of the Andes, alpacas are not merely livestock but family members and cultural touchstones that anchor identity in an increasingly globalized world. The alpaca fiber economy provides crucial income for rural communities in South America, particularly for women who often control the textile production process from shearing through spinning and weaving. These cottage industries preserve traditional crafts while generating revenue that supports education, healthcare, and community development. Fair trade alpaca products offer consumers a way to directly support artisan communities while acquiring genuinely sustainable and ethical textiles. Internationally, alpacas have become ambassadors for sustainable agriculture and conscious consumption. Small-scale alpaca farms operate on every continent except Antarctica, often serving as agritourism destinations that educate visitors about sustainable farming practices, fiber arts, and human-animal partnerships. These farms create opportunities for people disconnected from agricultural traditions to engage directly with food and fiber production, fostering appreciation for the work required to transform natural resources into usable products. Therapeutic presence: healing through connection. An unexpected dimension of the alpaca's peaceful nature has emerged in recent years through animal-assisted therapy programs. Mental health professionals, special education teachers, and therapeutic writing centers have discovered that alpacas possess unique qualities that make them exceptional partners in healing and personal development work. The calm, non-threatening presence of alpacas helps anxious individuals feel safe and grounded. Their gentle demeanor and manageable size make them less intimidating than horses while still providing meaningful animal interaction. People working through trauma, depression, or anxiety often find that caring for alpacas, grooming them, walking with them, or simply sitting in their presence creates a meditative space where healing can occur. Children with autism spectrum disorders frequently respond positively to alpaca interaction. The animal's predictable behavior, soft texture, and minimal demands for direct interaction allow children to engage at their own pace without overwhelming sensory input. The repetitive motions of grooming and the quiet humming sounds alpacas make can have calming effects that help children regulate their emotional states. Veterans with PTSD have found solace in alpaca farming and interaction programs. The responsibility of caring for these peaceful creatures provides structure and purpose, while the animal's non-judgmental presence offers comfort without the social complexity of human relationships. The physical work of farm chores combined with the emotional connection to living beings creates a therapeutic combination that supports recovery and reintegration. Conservation and future: protecting a living heritage. While alpacas themselves are not endangered, with populations exceeding 3 million worldwide, concerns about genetic diversity and breed preservation motivate conservation efforts in their native South America and beyond. Maintaining the genetic integrity of different alpaca bloodlines ensures the continued health and adaptability of the species while preserving the results of thousands of years of careful breeding. Climate change poses challenges for traditional alpaca herding communities in the Andes. Changing precipitation patterns, glacier retreat, and temperature fluctuations affect the delicate ecosystems where these animals evolved. Supporting these communities through fair trade partnerships and conservation programs helps ensure that both alpacas and the people who have cared for them for millennia can adapt to changing conditions. International breeding programs work to improve alpaca genetics while maintaining breed standards and expanding color diversity. These efforts balance commercial interests with long-term sustainability, recognizing that the alpaca industry's future depends on healthy, genetically diverse populations that can adapt to various climates and breeding goals. Educational initiatives play a crucial role in alpaca conservation and appreciation. Teaching new generations about these remarkable animals, their history, their ecological benefits, their cultural significance, creates stakeholders invested in their continued well-being. From school farm visits to online resources, these programs ensure that knowledge about alpacas continues to spread and deepen. Living symbols in a complex world. In an era characterized by environmental crisis, social fragmentation, and disconnection from natural rhythms, the alpaca offers something increasingly rare, a model of peaceful coexistence between humans and animals that benefits both. These creatures remind us that beauty and utility need not be separate, that gentleness can be a survival strategy, and that our relationship with other species can be based on mutual benefit rather than exploitation. The warmth of alpaca fiber wrapping around human shoulders represents more than physical comfort. It embodies the warmth of connection across species, the beauty of sustainable resource use, and the peace that comes from living in harmony with the natural world. As we face the challenges of creating more sustainable and ethical systems of production and consumption, the alpaca stands as both inspiration and practical example. Every alpaca, grazing peacefully in an Andean meadow or on a small farm in distant lands, carries within itself thousands of years of partnership between humans and nature. In their gentle eyes and soft fleece, we see reflections of what is possible when we approach other species with respect, when we value sustainability over extraction, and when we recognize that true wealth lies not in domination but in relationship. The alpaca asks nothing more than good pasture, clean water, the company of its herd, and humane treatment. In return, it offers fiber of extraordinary quality, minimal environmental impact, therapeutic presence, and a living reminder of nature's beauty. This simple exchange, repeated across generations and continents, creates a pattern we would do well to emulate in all our interactions with the natural world, one of reciprocity, respect, and recognition that our well-being is inseparably linked to the well-being of other species with whom we share this planet.